Sacred Baobab. In a distant village, nestled between vast plains and majestic mountains, stood an imposing baobab tree. Unlike others, this tree seemed to reach the sky with its outstretched branches, while its roots seemed to plunge deep into the heart of the earth. The village elders said this baobab, centuries old, held secrets no one dared uncover. It was called the Sacred Baobab. Madi, a daring young man from the village, was fascinated by this legendary tree. He refused to believe it was just a story to scare children. One day, determined to uncover its mysteries, he decided to defy the prohibitions and approach the mysterious baobab. Ignoring his mother's and the village elders' warnings, Madi set out at dusk, heading alone toward the colossal tree. As night enveloped the landscape, Madi finally reached the base of the baobab. A gentle breeze stirred its leaves, as if the tree itself whispered warnings. Madi hesitated for a moment, but his determination won out. He knew the legends spoke of those who ventured too close to the tree disappearing mysteriously. Yet deep down, he felt he had to understand what lay beneath its branches. He slowly circled the massive trunk, and then he noticed a crack in the bark. With a mixture of curiosity and apprehension, he placed his hand on the fissure. To his astonishment, the bark opened slowly, revealing a hidden entrance. His heart pounding, Madi stepped inside the hollow of the tree. Inside, the air was cool, and a strange greenish light illuminated the walls of the trunk. A long, winding tunnel stretched before him, leading deep into the baobab. As he cautiously advanced, Madi heard faint whispers, distant voices seeming to murmur incomprehensible words to him. Suddenly, he tripped over a root and tumbled down the corridor, finding himself in a vast underground chamber. The room was bathed in an eerie greenish light, and at its center stood a massive stone-carved throne. On this throne sat an imposing old man, dressed in a tunic of animal skin, observing him with piercing eyes. Frozen in terror, Madi could only stare, unable to speak. "Welcome, Madi," the old man said in a voice both gentle and commanding. "I have been waiting for you." Startled, Madi stammered, "Who are you? How do you know my name?" An enigmatic smile appeared on the old man's face. "I am the guardian of this baobab, and I know every soul that dares cross this threshold. For centuries, each generation has sent a chosen one to discover the secrets of this tree. This time it is you, Madi. You have been chosen." Fear gripped Madi, but he tried to remain calm. "Chosen? For what?" he asked. The old man slowly rose, his immense shadow casting itself on the walls of the room. "The village is in grave danger. An ancient curse, born of envy and hatred, was sealed beneath this tree, but the bonds holding it are weakening. If it breaks free, your village will be destroyed. Only you can prevent it." Madi felt a heavy burden weighing on his shoulders. He struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. "What must I do?" he asked, his voice tinged with anxiety. The old man handed him a small glowing stone. "This stone is the key to destroying the curse, but you must act quickly. At dawn, the malevolent force will awaken, and it will be too late." Clutching the stone in his hand, Madi nodded. He wasn't sure if he was ready for such a mission, but he had no choice. Thanking the old man, he ran out of the chamber and retraced his steps through the tunnel. As he emerged from the baobab, the moon shone high in the sky, but something in the air felt different. He ran as fast as he could, racing through the dark forest. The wind seemed to carry whispers, like urgent warnings, and the trees appeared to be watching him. The sky, which had been clear moments earlier, was darkening at an alarming rate. Heavy black clouds gathered above the village like a malevolent shadow. As he finally reached the village, Madi felt an invisible force weighing on him. The stone in his hand emitted a faint light, as if it was battling against a dark presence. The ground trembled, and before him, a titanic creature emerged from the darkness. Its eyes glowed with terrifying malice. It was the Shadow, the malevolent entity that had been sealed beneath the baobab centuries earlier. "Come challenge me, mortal," The shadow growled in a rumble that made the air vibrate. You are but a weakling, unable to comprehend my power. Your village will burn under my wrath, and nothing will remain but ashes. Despite the fear gripping him, Madi tightened his grip on the stone. He knew the creature fed on fear and doubt. He had to stay strong. I may be just a mere mortal, he said, raising his voice, but I carry the light of my ancestors within me, and I will not let you destroy my village. The shadow roared in rage, and demonic creatures sprang from the shadows, rushing at Madi with terrifying speed. He deftly dodged the first attacks, but the monsters were too many. As they seemed about to overwhelm him, the stone in his hand emitted a blinding flash of light, sweeping the creatures away like leaves in the wind. The shadow shrieked, retreating under the onslaught of the light, but its rage only grew. It lunged at Madi with incredible force, slamming him to the ground. The stone slipped from his hand. Madi found himself on the ground, disarmed. As the shadow raised a claw to crush him, a voice echoed in his mind. The light comes from you, not the stone. Gathering his last reserves of strength, Madi rose. He felt a warmth growing inside him, a flame he had never felt before. Memories of his ancestors, their strength, and their wisdom infused him with newfound energy. His hands began to glow with a golden light. The shadow lunged at him again, but this time Madi was ready. He raised his arms and with a defiant cry, released a blast of pure light that tore through the darkness. The creature howled in pain, its shadowy form disintegrating under the onslaught of the light. In one final effort, Madi approached the heart of the creature, where the darkness was densest. He concentrated all the light into his hands and struck directly at the heart of the shadow. A deafening scream echoed as the creature disintegrated completely, leaving behind only wisps of smoke. Exhausted but victorious, Madi fell to his knees. Dawn was breaking on the horizon, and the village was saved. As the villagers emerged, amazed, the guardian of the Baobab appeared one last time. "You have succeeded, Madi," he said with a smile. "You have awakened the light that lay dormant within you. Remember, true strength comes not from the stone, but from your heart." Then he vanished, leaving Madi with the certainty that he was now the guardian of this light.